To Reflect. I'm Toria.
And I'm Tarja.
Today we'll be discussing the 2021 movie Wildcat. The movie is broken up to 5 chapters. We will share our thoughts and opinions about the movie. This may contain violence and inappropriate scenes, so trigger warning for those listening.
And we may say words that's kind of triggering too.
And the first chapter is called Khadijah, which I like that, say the name Khadijah.
Yeah.
We see Khadijah Young. She also has a nickname, probably interchangeable through the movies, called Cat Young.
There's also going to be some other names that we may mispronounce, but we tried our best.
Yeah, so this is our main character of the movie. And we thrown into where she already locked up to like a bed frame. And a man is also trapped in a dungeon-like room with her. The room was dirty, brick-like, and dingy looking. So just imagine like a basement.
Yeah, a basement, or what you say, you kind of mentioned it before, like or a dungeon. Was all like
dirt.
Yeah, dirt.
Sand everywhere.
Yeah.
We learn she's a journalist at this point through to her interactions with the other man trapped inside with her. Then we throw like someone just barged into the room, and there's a man. He comes to tear off her fingernails off. Then the man that's trapped with her is taken out the room at the same time as her fingernails being ripped off.
Yeah, I feel like this movie kind of like just dropped us in the middle because I'm like so lost at the beginning. I'm like, who is this people? What's going on? It was just kind of dropped us in the middle.
We learn she is trapped in Mosul. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but she is like a correspondent for ITT News for Europe after being tortured about the information by a man named Khalid. Later that day, the previous guy that was trapped with her is dragged back, and he is injured, and she tries to help him. We see them get to know each other, and we learn that his name is Luke, and he is a soldier who was also taken.
So Luke, he basically looks as if he was shot or something because he looked way worse than Kat. So we don't know what's going on when he leaves the room and how his torture is.
We learn from their convo, the guy keeping her there is a known bomber who bombed Baghdad before, and he's also a member of a Umayyad Brotherhood. And they feel he wants to bomb the U.S. Embassy, and that's why they got them trapped.
So at this point in the movie, I'm thinking, okay, so this is so he part of like a terrorist group, and he just don't even care who he killed and to get what he want.
They both come up with a plan to 3 things: to never tell him anything, get word back to the U.S. Embassy, and escape. And that's like the wrap up of chapter 1. Mm-hmm. And then we enter chapter 2, which is called Interrogations. This chapter shows a man comes in again, takes another fingernail off Cat. It's the same guy. At this point, we're going to learn there are 4 men coming inside the room. Of course, it's Luke. Mm-hmm. Khalid, who asks her questions, seemed like the leader. Mm-hmm. A bald, creepy guy doesn't do anything but watch her. Mm-hmm. And then the one that takes off her fingernails. And
yeah, like the guy who, they look all kind of creepy and predatory or like. So if you can think of any like men that have that image of them.
Khalid tells Kat he wants to lay out for the U.S. Embassy so he could bomb it. Of course, she refused to help him.
I'm thinking, girl, he about to amp up this torture if you don't give him no info. I was like, I'm scared for her.
In this chapter, we found out that Khadijah does know more than she's been letting on. Like how the army have a list of people they're trying to wipe out. And that the army knows about the safe house they in and the other ones that are located around.
Yeah, I'm like, how is this supposed to be like a safe? It looks so tragic, the place. And I'm like, how many safe houses are there?
Yeah, safe. That's like a negative.
Yeah, how that look.
Yeah. By the way, we learned this information from her talk with with Luke. Throughout, we also see Luke leaves and comes back. He seems beaten up more and more each day.
Yeah, it's like they treat him like a rag doll or something because he looked close to death.
They both come up with a plan to buy their time by giving up little information to Khalid, questioning them. Through this movie, we learned about her throughout her interactions with Luke. We found that her nickname was Wildcat, given to her by her fellow army peers, because she doesn't drink or go to bars. Basically, the opposite of what she is.
I just feel like they're so ridiculous. I don't think they should just call her a wimp. I guess the terms they use just because she doesn't want to party and drink all the time. But I'm guessing it's kind of like some type of hazing or teasing.
Yeah, let's call you Wildcat because you basically playing.
Right.
That's so stupid. So the creepy guy comes to her room at night and tries to rape her until Khalid comes in, barging in, asks her if she's CIA. She admits she's basically a translator for CIA just so that she don't get raped.
I think that rape is like one of the common torture devices they use for women. Well, I guess it can be used for men and stuff, but as we see in movies, like a certain torture devices they use, and
Yeah.
rape is definitely one of them.
Yeah, rape, taking off the fingernails,
Mhm.
water boating someone
Right.
till they like pass out. And
Just
so we
tragic.
also learned that Khalid, he had this like plan for that guy to basically come in
Mhm.
to try to rape her so he could get the real identity of who she is.
And I'm guessing Khalid is like the leader of them at this point.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think I mentioned that.
Yeah.
I don't know. We move to chapter 3, which is called the Embassy Code. In this chapter, we see Kat trying to make a weapon out of a bed spring, and the scene switches to her feeding fake information to Khalid about the U.S. Embassy, how much security, the key codes, and the layout. Later that night, she tells Luke how she was there to access the place so the army knows what places to strike and get information about the terrorists. The next day, we see her get tied up to the bed, but Khalid finds the weapon she was trying to make, and he electrocutes her.
I wonder what kind of side effects is it of being electrocuted, like in a short time? Because I feel like we see a lot of movies, and even though it's like a little short time, they still do they have any physical or mental side effects from that? And that's also another like horrible common device torture they use.
Yeah, like I feel like definitely probably affect the brain.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get to move to chapter 4 called The Lightweight. And we learn that Luke told them about the reason them being there, the real key codes, and the airstrike. I guess he thought Kat was being killed, so he gave up the real information.
So at this point, I'm guessing they gave him it was like a fake recording or sound machine to trick him into thinking that Kat was being killed. So he wanted to be hero, and that's probably the reason they had them together in the first place, so they could start caring for each other. So this plan will be executed, or effective.
Yeah, because we never see when he actually is tortured or when he leaves the room. Mm-hmm. So that's why we think, because he said when he talked to her that he heard her screams and that's what they basically tricked her mind thinking that she was getting hurt. Mm-hmm. So Kat attempts her first escape when the guy who kept cutting off her fingernails comes in, and she pushes him to the ground. But the other two guys comes in and finds the second weapon she made. They leave the room, and Luke gives her another knife because they only checked her at this point. Luke eventually dies, and he encouraged Kat to get them back and escapes.
At this point, I figured Luke was going to die, especially since he looked so rough during the whole time. I'm surprised he lasted that long, but it's probably because of Kat. Probably kept him stronger to move, continue on.
Yes. And then we moved to chapter 5 called Wildcat,
the name of the movie.
She's taken out the room and has a bag over her head, and she moves to a different location where the creepy bald guy tells her she will never escape. I keep calling him creepy bald guy because we never knew his name.
I don't know.
Don't even care at this point.
Don't matter.
The room she traps in looks like a rusted boiler room.
So this is the first time we see a different place of the building because the entire movie is shot in that one room where they got her held captive. We never see her go to the bathroom. We don't even really see her eat. I think we only see her eat one time. It was like a tray, and it was like kind of like dirt or bugs. I don't know. It just looked all brown and mushy.
Yes.
It's kind of like a cafeteria tray they had her eat. But this is the first time we see a different room.
So the room, it had like an electric chair in the middle of it, and Khalid comes in to torture her about her lies. So he used these jumper cables to shock her because she lied to him. Mm-hmm. He tries to get into her head, saying she presented herself as a victim, how powerless she is, because she has told him a story about when she was in high school and how she was raped.
Yeah, I guess that was kind of like a, mental. He was trying to get into do mental games by bringing up something that happened, some trauma that happened when she was in high school.
Yeah, just to basically bring her even more down.
Right.
Khalid leaves, and the guy that was ripping off her fingernails comes in to uncuffs her. And she uses that knife that Luke gave her to stab him to get the phone he had half. Because throughout the movie, we see how anytime he took off her fingernails, his phone would make noise. So either he'd get a phone call or a text message. I don't know which one he got. Mm-hmm. And that's how she knew he had a phone.
Right.
She calls to get help, but all the operator on the other end is worried about her ID and putting her on hold.
I was so mad. Like, girl, you see, she got panic in her voice. And then she's trying to explain to her how she's captive, and all you worried about is, can you identify yourself? Like,
yes.
Come on now.
Khalid breaks through the door, and she hides the cell phone under a bed while she reads out who her kidnapper is, so whoever on the other line can hear it. Mm-hmm. Khalid pistol whips her. After fighting the cell phone, she is unconscious, and when she wakes up, the army have her identify herself, so we know it's the U.S. Army that came into the room. Apparently, they've been looking for her for days. Mm-hmm. And the army man helped her to her feet, and she smiled because she is safe. And that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, it was kind of a short movie, so. And
final thoughts?
Yeah, I love final thoughts on it.
It actually was inspired by real life women who basically went through this, like captured, and some was saved, probably some was didn't.
I wish we kind of knew how long she was captured, because the movie doesn't give a time frame. Yeah, the chapters, but it didn't really give us a time frame how long.
Yeah,
she was
it would be great
for.
if when they switch to each chapter, they say it's been this many days, this many months,
and we didn't see the beginning
of how she was captured. Right. Yeah, I would say it would have showed the process leading up to when she got in this room, because again, they only show two parts: that room and the last room she'd been in.
Right. And in my opinion, she kind of favorite Halle Berry to me. I don't know. It's like the face structure, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know what it was. Side by side.
Yeah, picture. Yeah. I feel like it took forever for them to try to kill her, or after they get the information. Like, I didn't want her to die, but I just feel like it wasn't realistic.
Right. I don't know. Yeah, it would take them sooner to get the information or torture it out of her. I don't know.
Yeah.
And we also knew that she was kind of going to survive at the end of the movie. I don't know. I feel like it was predictable that she was going to survive, obviously, because who told the story, you know? And then Luke, we also see him like as terrible, so we knew he probably wasn't going to survive.
Yeah, like he was beaten and weak each time he came into the room.
And they didn't show, like we said before, they didn't show what they were doing to him.
No. I thought she was smart, and by making like a weapon, getting the guy who was cutting off her fingernails, ripping them off, cell phone, also feed him fake information to stall him in case of a rescue. I thought it was like smart of her in the movie. And so, what would you rate the movie?
I'll give it a 5. It's not in comparison to other movies we watch. It's just like, I don't know. I ain't like that it was just in one room, and some of the terminology was like more, I guess, military army based. So if you kind of know that stuff, you will probably get it more. I don't know.
I would give it a 7. I felt like it was smart of how she acted in the movie, and I like the acting and stuff. But I do feel like it could have had like a little more, or more scenes, or things like in that nature.
Yeah. But even though I did give it a 5, I think I will recommend this movie, but you may need some subtitles. But just make sure you check out other videos and like this video. And remember to subscribe. And thanks for listening. Bye.